Hello, and welcome back to the bAmplified podcast. I'm Amy Patee, the show host, and this is a show for conscious entrepreneurs who want to let their most brilliant energy lead and express in their business. And on today's show, I am going to talk about sensitivity and how to really hone your gifts of sensitivity in your business. And we're going to look at the human design chart to figure out where your sensitivity gifts are. So grab your human design chart. And if you don't have yours, just use the link in the show notes to download yours for free. And once you have your chart, you're just going to take a look at it. And I'm going to keep this really simple. As you look at your chart, right in the center of your chart is something called the body graph. And it's like an outline of a body. And on the inside, there are these 9 little shapes. And these shapes are called centers in human design. And each of these centers have a unique function. They have a very particular theme. These are places where energy flows through and expresses. And so I like to think of the centers a little bit like these tools that you have inside the toolbox of you, because again, each one has a different function. And when you take in the snapshot of your body graph, notice where there is color to start. How many of those centers are colored in? Start there. And then on the flip side, notice where there is no color. Notice how many of those 9 centers are empty or white. They don't have any color in them. And for the purpose of this show today, I want you to zoom in on the ones that are white, that don't have any color inside of them. In human design, these are called undefined centers. And sometimes they're also called open centers. And the difference between those two, when you look at your centers, you'll notice that some of the white centers have little black circles around the numbers that wrap the periphery of the shape. Those centers are undefined. So the center itself is not colored in, but it does have a little bit of color. It does have these little black circles around those little numbers in a couple spots maybe. So those are undefined. And then if you notice, you have a center with no color at all. It doesn't have any of those little itty bitty black circles around the little numbers. Those ones are open. And where you are completely open, you are extremely sensitive through that center. Now, even if your center is undefined with just a little bit of activation, you are also very sensitive through that center. But there is a little activation. So the activation, I could also say there's definition. There's a little bit of consistent energy there that you can identify with. And so your sensitivity is still strong, but you do have a little bit of your own energy defined in there that gives you something to anchor into. Now that you've taken in your chart and you've assessed, this is where I am undefined or maybe even open. These are the centers that are not colored in. What does this mean? So I've already referenced them as places with heightened sensitivity. Why are they sensitive? So in our human design chart, when we don't have something colored in and it's undefined or more open, it means that that place in your body graph, that place in your chart, absorbs energy from the external world. It takes in the outer environment and amplifies it, and then can also reflect it back out to the world. These uncolored centers are like little sensors. They sense the external world. They sense what's going on outside of you. And here's the catch: if you are not aware of that, you will think what you're experiencing is your own. So I hope I'm making sense. For example, I'll use my own chart. I have a completely open solar plexus center. When you're looking at your chart, it is the triangle on the right-hand side, close to the bottom. So this is the emotional center in your body graph. And I have always been extremely sensitive to the emotions of others. I have been overwhelmed by the emotions of others. And I've often experienced, took on, absorbed, amplified the emotions of other people, not even realizing it, thinking that those emotions were mine, or thinking that since I could feel them, I was responsible for them. And it's led me to a lot of negative, I could say negative avoidant patterns because the emotion felt so intense to me. I feared getting into conflict with another person when I was feeling that intensity. So, since learning about my human design and learning that this can actually be a gift, learning how to use this sensitivity wisely, it has turned my world around. It's turned my world upside down because now I can utilize my open, my undefined solar plexus center as a sensor. And I understand when I am feeling emotions in a charged way, most of the time, they're not mine, especially if I'm around other people, if I'm out in public. Often those emotions are not mine. I'm absorbing them from the other people, from the environment, and I am amplifying them. And if I'm not conscious of what's happening, I will likely reflect those emotions back out into the world in a way that's probably not useful. But because I'm aware of them now, I don't have to take them personally. I don't have to hold on to them. I don't have to be responsible for them. And also understanding that when I absorb them through an open center, they become amplified. I experience them in an amplified way. So, understanding that, I can also realize, okay, I'm feeling anger really strongly right now. But in truth, that emotional energy, let's say coming from my partner or the friend that I'm with, is not really that strong or that big or that scary. They might be feeling irritation, but to me, it feels like full on anger, full on rage. So I have this clarity now and I can feel the emotions. I can actually be quite wise about the emotional landscape surrounding me and what's going on emotionally within other people. So that's a plus, especially when it comes to my work, because I do coach people, I mentor people, I offer intuitive energy guidance. And so this sensitivity is really a gift of mine because people can get lost in their emotions. People repress their emotions. They don't know what they're feeling. They don't know what's blocking them. I can get a sense of that quite quickly, usually with people. So that's a gift. So I'm using it as a wise gift in my work. And I'm also realizing, okay, I'm feeling this really strongly. It's likely not that strong. I don't have to be scared of it. I can still have this conversation with this person. I'm not going to be overwhelmed by this emotion. That's a gift. That's amazing to have that realization. And then lastly, I don't have to hang on to it. I don't have to be responsible for it. It's not necessarily mine. I can let it move through my system. I can feel it if I want to. I can feel the intensity of it if I want to. I can learn from it, or I can just sense it a little bit and then let it go, let it move, release it, understand it's not mine. And if I'm not up for it, I don't have to even feel it. I can just let it move through me. This is a superpower, to me at least. Now, you may be looking at your chart and you have your solar plexus center defined. Your emotional center is defined. And again, that's the triangle down on the bottom right-hand side of your body graph. So if yours is defined, you have your own emotional charge. You are moving through emotional waves that come from inside of you consistently all the time. You will have to listen to your internal emotional wave, your inner emotional landscape to help you make decisions, wise decisions about yourself, about your life. And that is your gift. That is your superpower. You also likely walk with some emotionality. You bring some passion to everything that you do, to your work, to your relationships, and it might have an emotional undertone. And that can be a beautiful thing. That can be a gift. That can be a superpower. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to go too deep into this right now, but I wanted to just give you a little something to understand better your own sensitivity and how you can find that laid out right in your body graph, your human design chart, and how you can begin to better understand these points of sensitivity within you so that you're not feeling like a victim to them. You're not feeling powerless in them. You can actually begin to utilize them as superpowers. You can understand them as points of deep wisdom that you gather and take in from the external world. And it can be something that you really utilize in your work because it truly is a gift that you have, a gift of sensitivity, a gift of being empathetic to what's happening around you. So, if you have questions, if you're feeling confused, you can DM me over on Instagram or shoot me an email. Follow the links in the show notes to one, download your free human design chart if you don't have one already, so you can understand your own points of sensitivity through the lens of your human design centers. And then, if you really want a little personalized deep dive of this, check out my Genius Bloom Human Design Report and online journey. It's a 64-page personalized report just for you based on your birth date, time, and place. And it maps out within the report all 9 centers, which ones are defined, which ones are undefined, and what does that mean for you and your business. So check that out. It's an amazing resource and it's only $47. And it includes this whole online journey component where I have some audio lessons for you and these specialized worksheets to really take you deeper into your own design. So, thanks for listening in to this short little episode and have a beautiful rest of your day.